Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Got an exciting potential hidden gem in the electric vehicle EV space to share with you. It is ticker symbol LODE, L-O-D-E. It's Comstock Mining. This is a stock that popped up in a query that I use on my normal daily routine to search for new stocks to add to our watch list, which I will show you in a few minutes. And in starting to do our normal due diligence on potential stocks to add to our watch list and potentially buy now, I found that this may be in fact a hidden gem in the electric vehicle EV space that may be relatively unknown and may be a great opportunity to buy, but we wanted to go into our normal due diligence process that I will share with you to see if there's any red flags, to see do we want to add it to our watch list, do we want to buy it now. So we will dig into our normal due diligence process. Firstly, I wanted to just quickly show you how did I find this potential hidden gem. How did I find LODE? This is one of the queries, as I mentioned, that I run on pretty much a daily basis to find new stocks to potentially add to our watch list for this week. And you can see this is currently a Microsoft Access database that I run, and I have this query that finds candidates that are currently where our buy price in the database is below the low price from the day before. And so I go through these and I look at the sectors and I look at the stocks, and then I grab the symbol and go to FinViz typically and look at the chart. So I'll jump over to FinViz and we'll look at the chart for LODE and we'll see what it looks like. And I want to see, is this somewhere kind of close to a support level? It said it was below the buy price we had in the database. And one of these days I will probably do a video about, how do you build a database of stocks that you want to watch, how do you build your universe of stocks, and then how do you update that data so that you can run queries like this and find stocks like this. So again, I'm on FinViz homepage, or on FinViz for LODE right now, and you can find our affiliate link for FinViz as always in the description box below, and we can see it's a little bit below a long-term support level, but it looks attractive. It looks kind of, it looks like it's bottomed out, so it looks like it has potential. If we go to a weekly version, we can see again, it looks like it's kind of a doji on the weekly, and it looks like it's at a bottom, and we can kind of see it's kind of close to this 220 level that in the past was a bottom of a major weekly trend. So this all looked attractive initially, so I just quickly, again, as typical, if you watch some of our due diligence videos, and you can watch some of the others in our due diligence playlist, I want to look at the metrics very quickly to see if there's any red flags, and we can see they don't have a whole lot of cash. We can see this says it's a real estate company. So again, we'll find out more information about LODE as we dig deeper. Not any debt, it says here, so that's not bad. It is optionable, so that's something that we can consider. It doesn't say it pays a dividend. The outstanding and float seems reasonably in line. It's not heavily shorted. So from this perspective, I don't initially see any red flags. We can see it's had some positive news, green marks on some of the news in the past. And then we want to see, what was that big pop back in February? So we're looking for, okay, what was the big news in February? So here it is. So Comstock Mining soars more than fourfold after taking a stake in a lithium-ion battery recycler. So I see that and I say, well, lithium-ion batteries, that's related to electric vehicles. And this is a US-based company. So we want to look at that news. So I brought that news article up by clicking on it in that Finviz list, which is super easy to do there. And it says, oh, Comstock secures an interest in a lithium-ion battery recycling facility. Well, to me, that's exciting because if you hear them talk about EVs and the batteries that we're going to need, essentially we don't have the production facilities necessary to support the sales projections for electric vehicles. And Biden's, pushing electric vehicles. They're talking about, the infrastructure bill has money for supporting subsidies on electric vehicles. So this is very exciting. Being able to recycle lithium-ion batteries and possibly support that demand. If we read this article, it says that they're acquired a state-of-the-art battery metal recycling plant facility from Aqua Metals in Tahoe, Reno, Nevada. So it's U.S. based. So again, if we're talking about lithium is generally not available in the U.S. Most of the batteries are produced outside of the U.S., and here we have a recycling plant in the U.S. I will leave a link to this article in the description box below so you can read it in more detail. But again, when I saw that, I thought, well, this is a potential hidden gem in the EV space, U.S. based. That got me pretty excited. But I still want to go through our due diligence and make sure we're not missing something that would get us in trouble if we bought this stock. So again, we'll dig through all of this in more detail. We can see annually. Okay, they did have positive EPS. They have some revenue. It's very small. It looks like it was declining. Again, very small revenue, stable, and they do have some positive and negative EPS. So we definitely want to dig into this and make sure they're going to be solvent. They're not going to raise capital on us, dilute our shares, etc. So we'll dig a little deeper, but so far this looks like an exciting hidden gem in the EV space. Okay, so now we want to know a little bit more about LODE Comstock Mining, and an easy way to dig into their homepage is to right-click on their link on their Finviz page and just open that in a new tab. Jump over to their homepage, and we can see their banner is promoting climate smart mining of precious and strategic metals. Well, again, we saw their recycling of lithium-ion batteries. You notice they're focusing on strategic metals. Again, that plays into the current supply chain shortages, the current infrastructure bills, and this having the U.S. Control our strategic metals and not be dependent on foreign supplies. You can also see clean energy as a focus. So right on the headline of their banner, they're hitting some major points: strategic metals, clean energy, and we talked about EV, electric vehicles, and you can scroll through their page. We can see their third quarter results are coming up on Wednesday, November 10th at 8 a.m. Pacific, which is 11 a.m. Eastern. So that's something we're going to consider is, their earnings report and how we want to play around that. We can get more information about them, climate smart mineral development, strategic. Again, you can see they're hitting those keywords. I didn't see any articles about government funding of strategic minerals, but I do know that MP, which is another company focusing on rare earth, I believe they got some DoD funding. So there's potential. I see another nice keywords there: lithium, nickel, cobalt. Those are all elements that go into EV batteries. And again, we can get more information. Again, you could easily get to this page just by clicking on the link on their Finviz. We can see they've got some social media presence, so go look at their Twitter feed, just see, is it professional? Do they post? Do we get news, PRs, etc. that provide potential catalysts? Again, we saw in the graph that it's kind of sitting near a support level, so we kind of like to get some news to trigger a catalyst to trigger a pop again. So we can see they've got some postings. It's not terribly frequent, but they do have some postings. It is active, so that's again additional information. So now again we'll dig deeper, but at least we have a feel for the company. They do have a nice professional website, Twitter feed, other social media presence. Looks like it's updated. They're hitting keywords that are very relevant right now. So we'll continue our due diligence process. Okay, let's take a real quick look at LODE Comstock Mining and Seeking Alpha. You can easily search for any symbol via entering the symbol in the search bar above. See, I've already got LODE pulled up. I'll put this link in the description box below. You can do a quick scroll through the news to see if we see any red flags. We can see they did a secondary offering back in October. That probably explains part of the decline. We can see some mixed news, missed on revenue. So we can see the decline. There's renewable process solutions back in June. We look at the ratings are mostly very positive, except for valuation but everyone else seems very, very bullish. We can see their annual revenue dropped off significantly. We can look at the quarterly revenue projections. Again, it's been down, turning up. That looks positive. See quarterly earnings. Looks like it's hopefully going to improve. Look at valuation, growth. This shows they have some debt, not a lot of cash. That's a little bit concerning. Mostly retail public ownership, not a lot of institutional ownership. That's not positive. We can see they have a positive Altman Z-score, so that's important to us. Their solvency looks good. That's positive. They have a low positive beta, so it's not going to move as quickly as its index, but in the same direction. Again, we can see press releases, balance sheet, income, EPS here showing positive. Cash flow is a little negative. So, their fundamentals from this standpoint are kind of mixed. Nothing overtly bright red flag. Here it says one analyst has a very bullish outlook, and we'll get further perspectives on this both in Webull and Chartmill and get consensus on this data. But here's the Seeking Alpha data for LODE Comstock Mining. Again, kind of mixed, although the ratings are very positive, so we don't see any major red flags, so we will continue our due diligence process from here.
Okay, let's continue our due diligence of Comstock Mining, ticker symbol LODE in Chartmill. You can find our affiliate link to Chartmill in the description box below. And we'll just quickly go through the various tabs in Chartmill and see how LODE stacks up here. So we can see from a technical rating, it's not very positive. Setup is kind of neutral, middle of the road. Valuation is a little positive, profitability a little positive, health is good, growth is a little negative. Overall fundamental is neutral. An overview, we can see some of the same kind of metrics, profile, etc. And we can see a snippet of the chart. We can see that support level that we're looking at. So we can always get a zoom in of the chart. daily, weekly, monthly, very similar to what we saw in FinViz. So we can see this support trend level. We can see kind of a wedge forming here. So you can look at that in more detail as you wish. Details of the technical analysis. Okay, we can see several green. It's get an overall technical score of 3, however, so it's not terribly positive. Short-term trends negative. Okay, we kind of know short-term it's been trending down into a wedge. So here the setup analysis shows a 6, so it's a little positive, so that's good. Fundamental analysis is always also a 6. We can see some of the profitability is positive. Valuation is pretty positive. Expected to report negative earnings next year. Negative growth. So we see a number of sites are pointing out that their growth is negative. Health is very positive. No dividends. So far, you know, it's chart mill is neutral to positive. We could look at analysts. Well, the analysts are very positive, but there's only one analyst, so the one analyst is very positive. So that doesn't tell us a whole lot, except it's not very heavily covered. And then we can look at estimates and financials, etc. And we can also look at that information in Webull. There's news. Again, we can see that information in Webull as well as in FinViz. So we'll dig into our due diligence in Webull. So far, everything's okay. Don't see any major red flags. Okay, so let's continue our due diligence of LODE Comstock Mining in Webull. I'm in the browser version of Webull on the stock screen. You can find our affiliate link as always for Webull in the description box below. Get 2 or more free stocks with your copy of Webull. Again, if I'm on the stock screen, I can enter any ticker, any symbol in the search bar, and it will bring up the stock's information for whatever stock you want. I can expand the right hand tab. We can see their earnings are expected on the 10th. We can see a brief chart. We don't see any other flags, news, etc. Then we'll talk about the chart. If we decide that we want to watch that, we'll look at support and resistance. Where might we want to buy, sell, etc. But let's do our due diligence with the data that's available here. We can bring up the lower pane and we can see news, very similar to FinViz, chart mill, etc. We don't see anything very recent that we didn't already know about. We can look at their financials. So income has been, they beat or missed expectations over time. Balance sheet, we don't have any data for balance sheet, cash flow, etc. We can see their net income. Again, it's oscillated a bit. Revenue, again, it's oscillated a bit. And operating income looks like it might have improved a little bit. Balance sheet, so debt to assets is going down. That's good. Total liabilities going down. Total assets going up. Okay, so that looks good. And cash flow looks like it bottomed out and is hopefully rebounding. So that's somewhat positive. We look at the analysts. It's Webull also says there's only one analyst buy, so that's consistent. And again, the one analyst is a buy, and we can see that wedge forming support resistance levels. So we can see short interest, nothing. Institutional, holdings. Okay, so institutions have been decreased. That's not really positive. Order flow, mostly small. And very small ETF weightings. And junior gold miners, microcaps. Okay, so it's in some of the mining and microcap ETFs. So that's good to know if we get flows into those, because again, they're tagged as a gold miner, but we're really focusing on them for that lithium-ion recycling and the EV potential that may have. So again, the fundamentals, the technical analysis is all neutral to positive. We don't see any major red flags. So I think, based on the fact that we believe this might be a hidden gem in the EV, electric vehicle space, and the last time that they announced news in that area, it had a major pop. This looks like this is something that's worth watching. We can see we started this due diligence on November 3rd. It's now November 4th, and on the 3rd it started to make a little run. It broke out of its pivot point, so we kind of missed that 217 bottom. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a pullback to that pivot point, and we'll probably be looking at buying LODE. Again, we saw that falling wedge, or that wedge forming, so that tells us it may take some time for this to pop. When the news comes out, we would expect a pop. So, if you buy LODE, be prepared to hold it for the news. And it'll probably continue to decline slightly until we get that news. So if we zoom out to the monthly, we can see, it's got some upside range. We can go out even further. And then we see this, this big pop way up to 9. So we've got plenty of upside potential. Downside, if we go back over to FinViz, we can probably see on a weekly, well, even down here, we've got down in the $1.20 range. The 52-week low is about $1. So we've got, $1.20 downside, plenty of upside, looks good. We're going to add LODE to our watch list. Again, we'll try to buy it on a retracement back to that pivot point that we saw, and then hold it for the news on this lithium-ion recycling or other positive news that causes a pop again. So hopefully this all helps. Again, this is our due diligence as of November 3rd and 4th, 2021. We think that Comstock Mining, ticker symbol LODE, may be a hidden gem for the electric vehicle EV space. It's got these themes of clean energy, strategic metal, precious metals, and it's gold miner. So it's also an inflation hedge. So we hope this all helps. We hope that you like this video and smash the like button and share it with your fellow BeachBum traders and friends, and subscribe to our channel, and have a great trading day. Thank you again for watching our video. We hope that you liked it. If so, please smash the like button, give us a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. Please share this video with your fellow traders and friends. And please give us your feedback and any recommendations for improvement in the comments section below. And let us know what else we can do to help you in your trading career. Thank you again. Good luck and have a great trading day.